am going over a brand new poll released by Trafalgar Group for the state of Nevada that shows a very interesting close result in the 2024 presidential election. So, the poll is conducted between September 11th and September 13th of a total respondents of 1,079 total respondents of likely 2022 general election voters. Our response rate was 4.3. I think that's a typo. I think I mean to say 2024. Margin of error of 2.9%, 95% confidence interval, response distribution of 50%. The methodology, if you want to learn more, go to the trafalgargroup.org polling methodology. This found that in the state of Nevada, Kamala Harris has 45.3% of the vote, Donald Trump has 43.5%, and other has 7.8%, with 3.4% undecided. So the numbers here are very, very interesting. Again, it's worth noting this is within the margin of error. Again, the margin of error was 2.9%, and Kamala Harris's lead is about 1.8 percentage points in this poll, or 1.8%. It's a very interesting number. It shows that Kamala Harris does have a slight lead over Trump in the state of Nevada, under the margin of error, but does show that she does have a slight lead over the former president. While we're going over this poll as well, in the Senate race, since it was included, Democratic incumbent Jackie Rosen is 48.2%, Republican Senate challenger Sam Brown is 40.4%, 7.2% are listed as other, slightly more undecided support here at 4.2% here. This is outside of the margin of error. This is consistent with the trend that Jackie Rosen has been leading Sam Brown the entire time by a outside the margin of error margin in the polls. And unless something changes leading up to Election Day, I am definitely expecting Jackie Rosen to win this seat and defeat Sam Brown. The party participation for this poll had 30.9% for Republican, 32.3% for Democrat, and 36.7% for no party/other. That's their unenrolled voters, independent voters, and additional third-party support as well. So a plurality of the Nevada electorate in this poll is either undecided, unenrolled, or independent of some kind. Age participation for this poll, 18 to 29 is 13.6%, 30 to 39, 14.4%, 40 to 49, 16.2%, 50 to 64, the highest plurality total at 33.5%, and 65 plus second plurality at 22.3%. And then we're going to go to ethnicity participation. 64.6% in this poll were identified as white, 18.1% Hispanic, 7.1% Black, 5.3% Asian, other 4.9%. Lastly, gender participation showed 47.6% of the respondents were female and 52.4% were male. So this poll by Trafalgar, it certainly shows right now that Nevada is a very close race, as we expect it to be one of the very important 7 battleground states that are intensely close watching right now. This poll does show Kamala Harris with a lead at about 1.8 percentage points. And now we're going to go to the Real Clear Politics average, where this poll is now factored in actually as +1 for Harris and Trump at 45.4 to, or 45 to 44. So they rounded up in the situation, or I believe they rounded down. Let me just make sure. Yeah, so Harris 45.3 rounded down, 43.5 for Trump rounded up to 44. That's how they did it. +1 for Harris. This poll is pretty much right in line with the RCP average. That is Harris plus 1.2. Not really too much out of the realm here. There was one insider advantage poll that, as towards the end of August, that showed Trump +1. Every single poll but the Bloomberg poll back in late August just showed this to be a 1-point race for either Trump or Harris. And look, I think Nevada is very, very close. I think it's certainly winnable for both candidates. I think this is a place where the polls essentially say this race is a tie, and you need to go back on recent electoral trends, both in the presidential election and the midterm election, where for Trump, you're looking at the 2022 midterms where the Republican won the governor's race, and you're hoping, well, maybe that's why I'll win the state. For Harris, you're looking back at 2020 where Joe Biden won this state very closely, but Joe Biden won here. 2016, Hillary Clinton won here. And I think on this one, the polls really aren't going to be much help in the state of Nevada. I think you have to look at the electoral trends. And I think this is a case where I right now think Kamala Harris will probably win the state of Nevada, but by a smaller margin than Joe Biden won it back in 2020. This is what I mean by this. Really quickly, the state of Nevada in 2020, Joe Biden won by 2.4%. He had 50.1. Trump had 47.7. So about 2.4%. Look back at 2016, Clinton got 47.9, Trump got 45.5. I think there's a good case to be made depending on how Clark County swings, if it goes more for Trump, or Washoe County, if that goes more for Trump, that Trump will be in play here and could potentially win the state. I think right now, based on the polls, Kamala Harris winning the state by a little over 1 percentage point, I think is probably the most likely outcome right now, but certainly Nevada is very, very close. So yeah, that'll pretty much do it. Just going over the state of Nevada and this new poll is very interesting. Nevada continues to be one of the closest swing states in the country, and you look at the electoral map, it's, as I mentioned, it is one of the 7 states that will decide who the next presidential election is. Since Nevada is only 6 electoral votes, it's not necessarily talked about as much because it's not as crucial for Trump or Harris as, like, say, Pennsylvania or Georgia is, just due to their population of their states. But in a very close election where certain battleground states start going for one candidate and others go for the other candidate, 6 electoral votes from Nevada could make a very big difference, and definitely want to keep an eye out for it on Election Day. That will do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a like. And if you really liked it, please remember to click the subscribe button. And make sure you turn post notifications on so you always get notified when I post a new video. That way you never miss one. Also, please remember to share this video with your friends and family if you really, really, really like the video. And remember to stay tuned because I'll be posting at least one video every single day leading up until Election Day, so I'd really appreciate it if you keep coming back and watching those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.